Okay, everybody, this is Brandon from Galaxy Doc Market. Happy New Year. This is my first video for the year 2025. Today is January 14th, 2025. I got to get used to saying that. It's Tuesday after the market closed. It's about 5:32 p.m. as I bring you this. And I had a little snafu. I was trying to get this out earlier today. And well, it didn't record. So I wasted all that time editing and talking on the video. So I'm re-recording this as we speak. Hey, second time's the charm. The title is obviously, I've been talking up a storm on X.com about the bond market implosion that is currently taking place in the U.S. Treasuries, namely the 10-year. But if you look at any other year, they're the same. Okay. And so I am saying that the market crash is coming soon. It may already be here. There is crisis ahead nonetheless. And let's get right to it. Okay, so disclaimer, pause it, read it. If you agree, please move forward. And of course, my shameless plug on my x.com/GalaxyDocMarket. Gotta warn you, all I talk about there right now is a lot of information about, the California fires, but namely the XRP and its virtues, as well as my commentaries on 10-year Treasury Yield, and sprinkled in with a little bit of the fallacy of Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. Okay, so let's move forward. And you might want to check this video out, Rising Bond Yields Warning. I put this out probably around October or November-ish, and it rings true even today. And it has a lot more detail on the nuances of what I see on the 10-year Treasury Yield. And we'll go over that today as well, and we'll see where we are. And of course, I'm still warning you, okay, there are black swans everywhere. Inauguration is coming up. And, with the California fires, these events are not isolated coincidences. Maybe at least incompetence by those civic leaders in California. I'm not going to name names, okay? And also blatant fraud, and potentially at worst, conspiratorial side is that these were planned events. Okay. And speaking of planned events, and this is pretty much what sums up Southern California right now. And I went to school around this area, and I want you to know that this is near and dear to me. I grew up around here, and I live in Arizona now. But nothing is by accident. This is a false flag event, I believe, similar to Maui. Okay, pay attention as we get closer to the inauguration. Okay, the powers that be do not want to give up power to Trump. They do not want people to know what they've been up to and what really is going on with this fire. Okay, so first and foremost, what really going on is a couple months before, Allstate and all the major insurance companies refused to insure Southern California homeowners, especially in this area, and conveniently canceled their homeowners insurance or just canceled their fire insurance. And so this makes you believe things that make you go, right? It makes you really think about this. And you can't make this stuff up. So, they first get denied policy coverage. The California lawmakers have made it almost impossible to even have water to fight fires. So where are all these taxes being paid by homeowners and California residents going to? I'll tell you where. It's basically going to Ukraine. Okay. I haven't heard a diddly squat out of the federal government other than Joe Biden telling people that he's going to send them $770. That is the biggest slap across your face. This is when government becomes so large and it becomes incompetent. Okay, and we have clowns running the show now. And I'm not going to name names about clowns, but you can see them. They kind of look like Marvel comic villain characters. If you know what I mean, go take a look at the current Los Angeles mayor. She reminds you of somebody from Batman? Okay, so anyways, nothing is by accident. False flag events are very similar to Maui, and it seems very coordinated. What are the chances that there's no water to fight fire? That the fire, department doesn't have enough hoses, so they have to use ladies' handbags. I don't know if that's even true, but that's what I see going on. And then, getting your fire insurance is canceled, thwarting any of efforts of fighting fire, and it's still not contained. This happens in third world countries, not in a first world country like ours. Okay. And so you have to really think about what's going on with this. Okay. We are in a fraudulent system. Biblically, I want to tell you that Revelation 8:1. It says, and the Lamb broke the final seal, and the sun turned to red like blood. And I think they are, pay attention to it. I mean, it may be nothing or it may be something. However, it is very apocalyptic what's going on. I mean, we are in a bizarro world at this point, okay? What the heck is going on? And why are our leaders so out of touch? Why do they act like cartoon characters and were at best like clowns at this point? And this is what you asked for. Okay, this is the more of the same, stuff that's going on in our world. Pay attention, folks. And then we have this guy, Macron, is urging a new European military coalition as an alternative to NATO since that Trump is coming in as the president and decidedly anti-NATO, and even have threatened to use the new European military coalition to block any illegal policies by Trump. These are the same people from Keir Starmer or, the PM of Britain, and this guy, threatening to arrest anybody who posts any truths or opinions about how incompetent they are. Okay, very thin-skinned, evil individuals here. Okay, right on schedule. This is right out of Revelations, folks. Right on schedule. EU is currently forming a European army. And if you're a believer, the Battle of Armageddon is going to come to pass. And the armies are rising as we speak. Okay? Pay attention, please. All right? I think the world is a much better place that we have gotten rid of this guy. Complete plant, and congratulations to Canadians. Okay, and but there's a lot of work to do. This guy has single-handedly destroyed what's great about Canada, and he had this mysterious visit to Mar-a-Lago to, I guess, kiss the ring. Okay, and he came back, and all of a sudden he's resigning. I wonder why he's resigning. Okay, stay tuned on that. One of the worst human being piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life. All right, so. And then, of course, the credit card defaults are skyrocketing. And yet Biden is saying that the economy is, fact check me if you want. Economy is great. Economy under him, job growth has accelerated. People can't buy food on credit card, let alone you should not be buying food with credit cards if the economy was so great. Remember my consumer demand destruction, and that consumer demand destruction is talking about this. There is destruction of demand as hyperinflation takes place, as we print money to oblivion and print bond out of thin air and then issue bonds that are backed by nothing other than promises of paying you back. And we'll go back right into that concept. And then, of course, the U.S. banks, with the 10-year Treasury yield rising, all banks are insolvent. They're just not marking to market, which is illegal, right? You have to mark your assets to a loss. If you're having a loss, then you got to show it. They're just not doing it. If they were forced to mark to market everything that's there, every single banking institutions would collapse today. Now, I don't know what the repercussion would be. I think it's pretty dire. But we have not taken our medicines since 2008 financial crisis. Okay, all is not well. None of the banks, I believe, are solvent at this point, and they are going to need some form of a bailout. And we're going to talk about XRP's role in that aspect just shortly. Okay, and watch the 10-year yield. Okay, guys, 10-year yield is rising despite the Fed's cutting of Fed funds rate. Okay, why would that be? Because when you print money to oblivion and believe that the rest of the world is stupid and people are stupid, they're going to continue to believe that the paper that you print that money on is worthless. And that people around the world know that. By the way, you know that in the summer, Saudis have failed to renew our petrodollar contract. And just remember that we don't have petrodollar reserve currency. I think maybe a year ago, no, 6 months ago, I think somebody jumped all over me saying that I was spreading falsehood. No, that is absolute truth. Okay, our U.S. dollar is denominated in trade. Majority of the world, especially the BRICS nation, are trading amongst themselves. And the sanctions that we put on Russia and Iran has only done nothing but embolden them, made them more aggressive. And you know what? They look like they're doing fine. Just go Google or go to x.com, Google, I don't know, but x.com, and just look at how the Russians celebrated Christmas as opposed to here. Okay? Tale of two cities, folks. Now, Michael Saylor, okay, in 1999, he had to restate earnings because of his rosy projections and also fraudulently fabricated account statements. And that rang the bell for the dot-com crash. This guy single-handedly lost $6 billion in a day, and he's back to his own devices. Now, this time, his drug of choice is Bitcoin. He is basically, wake up here, folks. He is basically diluting the shares of MicroStrategy and issuing new preferred stocks and convertible bonds, thinking that he has no liability in it whatsoever. His whole idea is to not focus on the core business model of MicroStrategy and just focus on hoarding Bitcoin. I think he tried that similar thing with the internet incubators in 1999 and failed. And, these characters pop up out of the history books. I can't believe he's still around. But now he's spreading this. You know what? You're going to end up being a bag holder if you buy MicroStrategy because everyone thinks it's going to go to $1 million plus in the next 5 years. Okay? All right? I got a bridge to sell you. This guy is the sign of the times. Be aware, okay? It is a Ponzi scheme. Now, despite everything that's happening, even more weird about what's happening, despite the fires and the wars and threat of wars, nuclear wars, and the new scare from the variety of viruses of the day, Trump is posturing to take over Greenland. Talking about not taking over, but annexing it as one of the United States states. He's talking about that with Canada, too. He's calling Trudeau and telling him that he would make a great governor before he resigned. Okay, if you were an individual or a company, you would start shoring up your assets in preparation for bankruptcy. And I do believe that the United States is preparing for debt default that's coming. This is why Trump is talking about the Bitcoin reserve, and now he is all over the XRP. He was seen and promoting XRP and formulating XRP reserves as well. Okay, and I'm a big fan of XRP. I've been a fan of it since 2015. And I will tell you that because my channel focuses more on the equity side, I've not, unless you're part of our insider group, I've not been advocating XRP publicly. But I'm telling you right now, we'll talk about it. XRP is cheap right now, not financial advice, okay? But this is the real deal. I think the Bitcoin was the test coin to get everybody that's financially conservative and don't trust the bank and don't trust the Fed to buy into the concept of self-custody, sound banking, sound money principles. All it did was get everybody, and I think this is a whole giant Trojan horse situation. I think cryptocurrency was planned by your government, our government, DARPA mainly, to introduce people to get them used to digital currency. This is probably the beginning of the mark of the beast that is happening, okay? And while everybody's cheering about becoming a gazillionaire, As a result, the future looks pretty bleak in terms of our freedoms. But right now, the better alternative is in the cryptocurrencies. Okay. I've been talking about this. I said this, right? XRP was cheap at 5 cents. Then it got even cheaper at 18 cents, screaming buy at 52 cents, but nobody listened. And now I'm saying it's a buy of a lifetime under $3. Do you understand what's going to happen here? Bitcoin, XRP is not going to stop going higher. Okay, it is basically going to provide liquidity when the liquidity crisis comes. It is going to be a digital asset reserve currency to provide liquidity to the banks when they've collapsed, to the sovereign banks, to the governments. And I think if U.S. does, in my opinion, when they do default on the bonds, the debt is untenable. Okay. These will be used to provide liquidity and sop up the excess printed dollar out of thin air that we've been printing and to get it out of the system. And also to make sure that the transfer of money and global payments does not stop. Because if that happens, everything grinds down to a halt. So therefore, we believe that XRP is going to play a significant role in either working in conjunction with the SWIFT system and also through BIZ and every other banking systems that are around, okay, to transact trillions of dollars on a daily basis. Moving money is their primary goal, but that is not the main goal that it's intended for. And if you want to learn more about that, you're going to have to follow me on the X.com. I'm trying to build that community. I hope you would join us. And maybe I'll do a full-on detail at XRP. I mean, this whole thing is going to take so long to explain, out of scope of this thing. However, XRP can't be cheap. Okay, in order to move billions upon trillions of dollars, XRP can't be at $2. It can't be at 5 cents. It can't be at 52 cents. It can't be at $100. Okay, and so I think we're going to need XRP to be much, much higher. Their founders have even said that. David Katz, one of the founders and the creators of XRP, has even said so in that regard, and it just makes sense. And everybody's so caught up on XRP's market cap. This is not a stock, folks. XRP's market cap really is infinite, and the reason why it's infinite is because it has utility. In order for this to transact, I believe when the shit hits the fan, when there is a liquidity crisis around the world and credit collapses around the world, as we're trying to liquefy the economy, we're going to need trillions upon trillions of dollars moving every second. Okay, you can't do that when XRP is worth $3. Okay, I'll leave it at that. If you have comments, please comment below. And then inauguration, guys. It's like less than 7 days until inauguration, except Washington D.C. is on a full lockdown. Something doesn't add up here, folks. Okay, and I wonder what that is. And if you guys believe in Q, I'm agnostic, but I'll take interesting news and try to make sense of what's going on and to explain it to you all. This lockdown is not normal. This lockdown ahead of presidential inauguration in the past has been a celebration. Why are we locked down, folks? Think about it. All right, so having said that, those are the most notable things, okay? I believe U.S. may be planning on a strategic bankruptcy or default on their debt, okay, which is going to cause a domino effect around the world. And then everybody's going to be rushing for XRP to provide utility and liquidity once that happens. And the way I think it's happening is because all of a sudden, United States is talking about annexing Greenland, Canada, maybe even Mexico. There's some rumors about Australia, but these are serious suggestions. And, leaving all politics aside, this is a resource grab, right? When you're bankrupting yourself and you know you're going to default or you're planning to default, you want all the assets that you control and have as much influence as possible, because every other country that gets screwed are going to become protectionist, warlike, and angry. Okay? Having said that, let's start with our long-term SPY uptrend line. This is a monthly SPY chart, and I've been saying for a long time, if you follow my channel, you know that this uptrend line was very important to me because it signaled start of crashes. Okay, and then we had lesser crashes, obviously, as we on the way. But touching of this line is like kiss of death. And we have started slowly at first, and we will start to come down. Where it ends is touching of this bottom end. So we know that it's going at least down into about the 380 region on the SPY, folks. All right? It's coming. It may not happen today, but it's coming sooner than you think. And given the way that the powers that be, I don't know who these elites are. Some people like to call them deep state. I think it's the bankers. I always say the bankers take you to war, central bankers, that I mean. By the way, did you know that Federal Reserve Bank is not a government bank? Okay, it's a private bank that was introduced by Woodrow Wilson in 1913. Okay, that started the stage of hyperinflation, printing of money, and the redistribution of wealth, and eventual collapse and destruction of middle class. And if you belong to the middle class and you work for a living, okay, you know that your purchasing power has completely eroded away. You know that despite the government agency spitting out these inflation data, we had a PPI data today, okay? Month over month, 2.9% versus expected 3.3, I believe. Is that a real number? Employment numbers, keep revising it later, right? It's much worse than that. Just go ask your neighbors, if you're a normal person, you're not Mark Zuckerberg and you're not living in a mansion somewhere. Go ask your neighbor. They're struggling. Okay? Go to the grocery store and look around. See how many people are paying for their food on credit cards. Now, don't give me this crap about, oh, they want the 2% reward. Really? You want 2% reward on your credit card? And no, it's because people don't have money. Okay? People are skimping by. Okay, they're not buying luxury goods. They're not buying cars. Home, listings are through the roof. Airbnb owners are imploding. We talked about all of these. This is what's happening, and this chart is telling you, okay, we're starting something historically big at this point. Okay, so I talked about in November 12th, 2024. Okay, this is a chart from there, and it's a slide from my old chart. Okay, November 12th, I said, hey, look, despite the FOMC cutting rates, the 10-year Treasury yield is rising with this arrow, right? It was at 44.32. Bond market is calling BS. And also, by the way, today the bond market called BS on the PPI attempted rally. Okay, people aren't stupid anymore. Okay, this is today at the beginning of the market. I know it came down a little bit, down into the 47. Oh, let's see. 88, but it's close enough, right? I mean, shouldn't this, if the inflation is under control, shouldn't this be coming down? No, it did not. You need to pay attention to the TNX. This is telling you that the bank implosion is right around the corner and that something bad is coming right now. This is January 14, 2025, before the market opened. We broke out above 48. I believe we're going much, much higher, and I'll show you charts to support that. Let's talk about my favorite XRP, okay? This is the global reserve currency, okay? All countries are going to be using it. It's going to be used for cross-border payments. It's going to be used to tokenize assets. It's going to be used in healthcare, okay? Ripple has been busy, okay? Had it not been SEC coming out to sue XRP and calling it a security. By the way, Gary Gensler's gone. They need to respond to response by tomorrow, or they're going to completely drop the case, which I think was totally bogus and fraudulent. Shame on SEC for stifling innovation. But XRP will be the savior that's coming in the coming collapse. And don't get me wrong here. I believe that the powers that be are going to make it as difficult as possible for Trump to get anything done and fix what ails our country and our government. Okay? We got to band together, pray for him a lot, and make sure that that he can navigate. Okay, and he's just a vessel. All glory goes to God, Jesus Christ. Okay, folks. All right. I've become very, very vocal and religious about my faith in the last a couple years. All right. When conspiracy continues to become true, And you can't dispute what's in the Bible. If you don't believe me, go read Jeremiah, Revelation, Isaiah, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Read Leviticus and Numbers too. I mean, it's all in there. Okay. Here's the thing. Bitcoin is a beta test coin. Okay, like I said, it was to lure in people that don't trust the system and the banks and the Federal Reserve Bank, to make them feel like that they have a sound money system that they can really transact without the interference, limited supply, yada yada yada. All it did was condition us to be able to use digital currency. That's fine. Okay, I'll go where the money is and investment opportunities are. Okay. However, XRP is the real world reserve currency. XRP is the real world utility coin that's been hampered. Think about why they were so hell-bent on suing Ripple for this XRP and had it taken off the exchanges. It's because they were accumulating this stuff. Go look at all the elites. I bet even George Soros has this. I bet Warren Buffett has it. I bet Tom Hanks even has it, wherever he is. I think he left the country, right? Let's dive right into our real quick analysis. Guys, I think oil's getting ready, set to break out. And I think oil is around the 80.96. I think it pulled back a little bit. Let's see where we are, where it closed. Okay, yeah, 80.96. Okay. So basically, the oil basically has formed this interesting pattern at this point. And that interesting pattern is this. It's breaking out of a cup formation. So what that means is that if it's breaking out of this cup formation, we have crossed over into the resistance line. We're moving higher into this red area over around 89 to 90. Okay, over the next probably a week and a half. Maybe it does it in a day. Not financial advice. You do your own research, but I've noticed that. Okay. In a collapsing economy, yes, demand for oil should plummet, but this is in response to the protectionism that is now forming across the world as Trump is preparing what I think is basically getting ready for a bond default. Okay, Greenland, Canada, okay, resource grab. The other thing that's important is to know that this is the equally weighted SPX. The rate of decline, okay, because these are all equally weighted. It's the 7 stocks that's been holding this market up. Okay, now we are at this point where we're at a make it or break it level. Okay, usually this signals some issues that are coming ahead in our market. Okay. All right, I just wanted to go over this really quickly for the New Year's, and I'll start putting out more videos on a weekly basis, but I just want to get you to know where I am for 2025, what I'm thinking. You saw this chart before. What I talked about was this was the last hike in July, end of July of 2023, and then they jawboned about potentially cutting rates. And so the markets anticipated this, market rate hope cuts rumors, and basically it kept going up and up. First rate cut was in August of this year, right? So I want to talk about what's happened since the rate cut. Market still moved higher. Okay. All right. So this was the first language and then the actual rate cut. Since then, we've moved higher. But here's what's happening, folks. Do you notice this is a daily chart, right? We're beginning to form a nice head and shoulders right here. You can call these two double tops. And we are basically at a point where we're teetering on this gap, right? Okay. Some could argue that the gap filled and we're now having a reflexive bounce. Maybe we bounce up to 590 and start coming down, or we start cratering below. Now, there are so many gaps here. Look at all these gaps, right? Gaps will eventually get filled, folks. Gaps. I know I'm missing some gaps, okay? I think it's going to come all the way down to the rate cut rumors right at 400. And it's going to happen fast once the dam breaks, okay? Like I said, the deep state will not go quietly. The central banks will not go quietly into the night. My favorite NVDA, let's look at the weekly chart. We've been short as a group on this stock, and we've been doing very, very well. It's broken below the support level and below this primary uptrend line since October of 2022. We're broken down. We're trying to find support at the 20 SMA. I believe we chop around here for a little while, but by Friday, I think we're going to start coming back down. So put this one on your list if you want. Not financial advice. You do what you need to do. The other one that baffles me, and I think is a fantastic short, is that the automakers are suffering, and especially what better way to look at auto dealers that issues their own credit, and that's Carvana. Carvana really has, to make long story short, they topped right here. And I mentioned this Carvana in my last video before the year was over. This is a bear flag, folks. We're coming back down. Okay? All right? This is a fantastic short candidate. Let's look at what's happening with my very, very good friend, silver. Okay? Silver is a pain trade, much in the like in the way of the Big Short. Remember those guys were suffering through? I went through that in 2007, 2008. We are in a fraudulent system, folks. Okay, there is naked shorting, no doubt about it, going on. There's about 2,000 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of available silver ready for delivery at COMEX and LBMA. Why would that be? Because the fiat money system narrative does not work if gold and silver start spiking. In fact, if you look at where Bitcoin is, everybody was celebrating Bitcoin hitting 100K. That's where gold should be. Okay, but Bitcoin is used as a liquidity sponge for the money that would otherwise go into gold and silver in this hyperinflationary and uncertain world, right? So that's where we are. Okay. So I believe that if some people think this is a head and shoulders formation. It very well may be, but silver does not trade typically in that fashion. For me, I've already mapped it out. This dotted line is accumulation zone. This right here is the major pivot zone. If we basically stay above on a weekly basis, above 33, okay, without coming back down, okay, if we can successfully stay above 33 and break out of this 35 highs of this year, we're going higher. Remember, silver was at $50, okay, $49.99, something like that, okay. Silver is the only metal that has not hit all-time highs. Gold has. Believe it or not, gold has. Gold is, even with the pullback, gold at 2,700, 2,699 is at all-time highs. Silver has not, okay. Short squeeze, anyone? All right, so 10-year Treasury yield, nothing much to be said. It's basically going phase 4 alpha move higher, okay? It's not a doji. We're just taking a little break, probably chop around here and then start moving higher. I believe we can hit 50 by probably next week, okay? And anything above 38.50 renders most banks insolvent. At these level, everybody's insolvent, okay, if they mark to market. And that day of reckoning is coming, okay? So let's look at CMA, okay? My Comerica, I'm a big fan of Comerica as a short. Here's a bear flag. Enough said. Go look at it. Do your due diligence. I just told you this. If you want more in-depth analysis, you have to inquire about joining my group, okay? Email me, all right? Okay, so that's what I have right now. Bottom line is that there are weird moves that are happening. The world is becoming a chaotic, bizarro world. All right. Why does our politicians and elected leaders and just everybody, why are they acting so strange? Okay. The fires in Maui and now in Los Angeles, and the fact that we can't afford to even properly regulate fire departments. The LA mayor looks like a character from Batman. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say her name. Bunch of clown show, folks. All right. The storm is coming, and they don't want Trump in the office. Watch the 10-year Treasury yield, okay? I know that PPI data came out, and the algos wanted to celebrate that, but it got sold off, folks, okay? The crash is coming, okay? It may be here already. You saw my long-term SPY trend. Buy XRP when you can, not financial advice. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing, okay? Gold and silver, folks. And short the market. Buy VIX. That's what we're doing. Okay. If you want to find out more about what we're doing, you want to just consult with me. Give me a shout either at x.com, DM me, or send me an email at coachbrandon@protonmail.com. You want to inquire about joining my group. You want to, I don't know, okay? Not more affordable than you think. All right. I'm doing this as a service. Okay. I know that this is what's happening. Join me at galaxydockmarket.com. Also on X. Follow me there. Like us, share us, and above all, comment good and bad. I don't really care. I enjoy all of your commentaries, and I thank you so much for subscribing. Let's get some alpha. Let's do this. Be careful out there. Bye bye.